All right, no liquor pod. Oh, straight barbecue. That's a throwback. Straight barbecue pod today. We're gonna be looking at the NFL game, the NFL game for Monday, and the basketball games. I don't have anyone to do it with today because it's early in the morning. It's 10 a.m. No one's awake yet. Crazy. But we're gonna be looking at the one NFL game first. 49ers versus Colts. Um, I found out you could do head-to-head NFL games too, and I really liked the I did head to head Kirk Cousins versus Jacoby Brissett, and Jacoby Brissett beat him in pass yards by 6 passing yards yesterday. So yeah, that was cool. But anyways, I would probably take the 49ers here. 49ers probably have the best backup in the league under the Mariota. Mac Jones is a really good backup. I like the 49ers. I just think the Colts got unlucky this season and with Daniel Jones going out, it's awful. But yeah, but also the Colts barely lost to the Seahawks, who have like a great defense, so it's kind of weird. But we'll see. I would probably pick the 49ers though, and I might do some bets later for the thumbnail, but I doubt it. 49ers look good against the Colts probably with Philip Rivers, but who knows? Philip Rivers could adjust, and you really don't know. I would take the 49ers probably. Looking at today's NBA games, the Hornets versus the Cavs. Um, For the Hornets, Miles Bridges, Knappel, LaMelo is probable with a wrist injury, and Diabate, and then Kalkbrenner's questionable. Colin Sexton is out still with Brandon Miller and Trey Mann. And then looking, you have Donovan Mitchell, who is probable with an illness. Jalen Tyson, DeAndre Hunter. Um, Kind of weird, but I kind of am thinking the Cavs probably don't win by 9. The Hornets are looking good. You could take Charlotte's plus 9. Plus 9, that's pretty dang good. I like that. I like Hornets plus 9. Money line if you want to. I like plus 9. And also another pick that I really like for this game is Jared Allen to lead the game in rebounds. He's done it multiple times. If Ryan Kalkbrenner's out, they're not going to really have a center unless Diabate will be their center, but Jared Allen is Diabate. I'll take Jared Allen for rebounds. Leading rebounder of the game, Jared Allen for sure. I will take that. Boston versus Pacers. Now, Jalen Brown is questionable, but we seen last game that, they're very good. Even without Jalen Brown, they cooked. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard went crazy. Um, Whooped the Raptors. The Raptors were supposed to win that game. Peyton Pritchard had 33 points, and Derek White did not play that great, but Peyton Pritchard went crazy. 33 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists. He's a good rebounder for the guard position too. He grabs a lot, but I think that's just part of like the scheme that they run. Everyone doing everything. It's a good scheme in Boston. I will take Boston here against the Pacers. Um, think about the Celtics as Jalen Brown can lead them in rebounds. Uh, Quuda can lead them in rebounds. Like it's just not like there's not a certain player that does it. Like Jared Allen for the Cavs is that guy because Evan Mobley is out. Jared Allen for rebounds makes more sense, but with the Celtics, you could have Jordan Walsh, or you could have Queta, or you could have Brown, or you could have Garza. Just like that. I mean, it's just a lot of different players that could do it, so they're not very reliable for certain player of the games. Um, Looking at the Pacers, they're not going to win the game. I don't think they will. They could, but you never know. I don't think they will. Mavericks versus Pelicans. It's New Orleans by 1.5. Cooper Flag is questionable with a back. Max Christie's questionable. Klay Thompson is questionable. Anthony Davis is active. Um, a pretty good pick here would be AD for most rebounds. He's done it the past 3 games that he's played. Did it against the Nets, did it against Detroit, did it against Philly, and the Pelicans really don't have like Derek Queen. Derek Queen's a good rebounding center. He's a very good PRA guy as well. Um, but Anthony Davis obviously is better, and I'm glad Derek Queen is playing more than Mrs. Mrs. is not super duper. He's not better than Derek Queen, and that kind of That's kind of crazy to me, but he's just not. I would probably take Anthony Davis to lead the game in rebounds. But another thing about the Mavericks is that they have a lot of good rebounders. Cooper Flagg's a good rebounder. PJ Washington's a good rebounder. Anthony Davis is a good rebounder. Gafford's a good rebounder. A lot of good rebounding for the Mavericks, and that is probably what's helping them win most games. Is they're a big team that can rebound well. Um, they'll probably beat the Pelicans. I don't see why they would lose to the Pelicans. Though the Pelicans are a lot more healthy than they are. Trey Murphy's playing a lot better than he was in the beginning of the season. Zion is playing okay. I'm just glad to see Zion playing. That's good. Um, I would probably take Anthony Davis for most rebounds. I don't see anyone else getting a crazy ton of rebounds other than Derek Queen. Um, Maybe we'll see. I would probably take AD though. Nuggets versus the Jazz. Ali Market is questionable with the groin injury, so that leaves Keontae George, who's been playing amazing. I would like to point out in the beginning of the podcast, I was talking about how good George was probably going to be, the big three that is now the big two. Um, so the obvious pick here is Jokic to lead the game in rebounds. Um, he had 7 rebounds against Houston. Another good underrated pick is Yusuf Nurkic. Yusuf Nurkic grabs a lot of rebounds. 17 against Memphis, 11 against the Kings, 10, 10, 10, 14, 10, 11, 10, 17, 11. He just grabs a lot of rebounds. Is he going to out-rebound Jokic? Probably not a great bet, but there's a possibility he could. I also like Kyle Flabowski. Kyle Flabowski has games where he grabs 4 rebounds, and he has games where he grabs 13. So it's just like it's not like an ideal pick. Um, I would pick Denver though purely because Jokic and Murray are probably the best duo in the league. The second best duo is probably who would I say? Duran and Cade probably second best duo. Looking at Grizzlies and Thunder, you take the Thunder. The Thunder are I don't know what's going on. Chet is questionable with a back injury. Isaiah Hartenstein's out with the calf. I'm looking at Memphis here. Zach Edey's out with an ankle. Ja Morant, Vince, Zach is still out. So that leaves Jaren Jackson Jr. to still play. One thing about Jaren Jackson Jr. is he's not a reliable rebounder. Um, with that being said, the Thunder are not going to have a center if Chet does not play. So I feel like the safest bet for rebounds, honestly, is probably Jared Jackson Jr. But I will not be picking that because you can't do questionables at 10 o'clock at night. That's not going to work. I like the Jared Allen pick a lot more than I would betting on someone than Jared Jackson Jr. Especially because the Memphis have a lot of people that rebound. So it's kind of a different story there. Warriors versus Magic. Now this is interesting. Franz is out, though you'll have Paulo and you'll have Wendell Carter Jr., Desmond Bain, Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs. Is he playing? He's not. So Curry's been on a roll. Curry and Butler, Draymond. This is a good game. Um, just kind of like I'm not like really big on the Warriors anymore. In the beginning of the season, I was big on them. I really liked their system. They were looking really good. And now it's just kind of like it kind of just seems like Curry's just cooking. And I mean, Curry had 10 rebounds against the Suns. Like, that's something that is just crazy to me. Like, they run a system where everyone's got to do everything. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, the Suns have like a good rebounder in Mark Williams. It's kind of hard to pick. People that could lead the game in rebounds, though, is definitely Wendell Carter or Paulo. Paulo's been looking like a good rebounder, um, especially their power forward, Draymond Green. He's going to have Draymond Green guarding him, you know what I mean? Um, unless Draymond gets guarded by. Hold on, who's been playing minutes for the Warriors? This is interesting. Did Quentin Post play a lot? He does. Quentin Post plays a lot. I like the Carter Jr. matchup versus Quentin Post. I will probably be taking Carter Jr. to get the most rebounds this game. Now, it could easily be Paulo. Carter Jr. hasn't had an amazing rebounding games. A lot. I mean, he did good against Jalen Duren. So he should be able to out rebound the small ball Warriors. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm kind of thinking Paulo here, but if Paulo's getting guarded by Draymond, Draymond's going to be all on him. I would probably pick Carter Jr. to get the most rebounds in the game. That'll probably be in the thumbnail. Jared Allen and Carter Jr. will probably be in the thumbnail. Pistons versus Blazers. Um, this is the last game. Pistons Blazers. Um, the Blazers are like, so Jeremy Grant's questionable with an Achilles, so he probably won't play. So it'd be Denny, Shane Sharp, Kamara, Klingon, Chris Murray, Robert Williams, Caleb Love versus a healthy Pistons team other than Ron Holland. You probably take the Pistons here. Um, Now for the rebounding stat, like I like doing the rebounding stats. Those are my favorite things to do. Um, it'll be a Klingon versus Duran matchup. He just had 14 rebounds against the Kings. Duran, I'm talking about Klingon. 13 rebounds against Jared Allen. 11 rebounds against Jakob Pertl. Uh, Victor wasn't playing when he rebounded against the Spurs. With 14 rebounds from Sacramento, the difference is Sacramento doesn't really have a center. The Pistons do. Jalen Duren is a great center. Jalen Duren had 13 rebounds against Anthony Davis, 7 rebounds against Okongwu, and 16 rebounds against Miles Turner. Um, Kind of a weird, hard one. If I was going to pick somebody, I would probably pick Duren. The game's probably going to be, unless it's a blowout. See, this is kind of the question. Can the Pistons blow out the Trailblazers? Maybe. There's probably a good chance that they could. I would probably do. That's hard. That's hard. Um, I want to go with Duran. My gut says Duran. Probably Duran. I probably won't pick it though. Whatever in the thumbnail is what I pick for sure. But yeah, that's the pod. That's a little episode today. Yeah, I'll probably have an NFL pick and then the Jared Allen, and the other pick I had earlier. But yeah, I'm really liking the NFL games. The NFL games were good yesterday. Um, but yeah, that's it really. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Hopefully my picks hit. Adios.